Hello and welcome to Heavy.com. I'm the Yacman, Ron Yacovetti, and for Veterans Day 2009, I took the time to drive up over 7,000 feet above sea level to a place called Big Bear, California, where aptly enough, a veteran warrior of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Mr. Tito Ortiz, is right back here training for his upcoming rematch at UFC 106 with Forrest Griffin. The training facility, by the way, has played host to some of the biggest names and superstars from the world of boxing, such as Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya. We're going to get back there and have one-on-one time talking to Tito, see what he's doing to prepare for his rematch, but after I'm done chatting it up with the boys. High five. You're with the Yacman, Ron Yacovetti for Heavy.com. I'm here with the part-time Big Bear bad boy, full-time, you know and love him as the Huntington Beach bad boy. Far from the sand, my friend, Mr. Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
Tito, thanks for taking the time with us.
Without a doubt, man. Thanks for coming up here. I know it's a little dry for you guys, but you know this is my home away from home. You know I've been coming up here since 2001, and I love it up here, man. All the people here in Big Bear, they're awesome people, man. They take care of me very well. They're very respectful. You know, I don't have anybody jumping my fence trying to get autographs and pictures. But it's cool, man. It's nice. It's to get away from the city and really just focus into the fight. You know, kind of like a Rocky training type of deal.
No, absolutely. This is like the Drago side of the Rocky training for sure.
Yeah.
Being up here, remote, cold area. Your fight coming up, Forrest Griffin rematch, coming up 106 weeks away now. You look really good. What are we going to see different from Tito Ortiz this time that maybe we haven't seen before?
You know, I think I'll have a little shape on my side. You know, no back problems, which is nice. You know, people are going to get the same Tito Ortiz. You know, I'm coming with ferocity and, you know, aggression and put on a show. You know, it's entertainment value, but, you know, it's at the expense of Forrest Griffin. It's going to be exciting, man. I think the things that I've done before this in the last 4 months have really exposed what I need to do during the fight. And I'm excited, though, man. I'm really, really excited to get in there and show what I got. The comeback, as they say, and this is awesome. You know, me at 34 years old, you know, Couture started his career at 34 years old, so I still see a lot more fight in me, and you know, I want to get a world title around my waist. I see some of the guys in the top of the realm at light heavyweight, and I can still battle with all of them. And you know, I look at Forrest's last couple guys he lost to, Rashad Evans. I thought I beat Rashad. Forrest lost to him. You know, Anderson Silva is another guy that Forrest lost to. I would like to get in with him. That'd be pretty good. Maybe in the future. I still got to get a little bit of the ring rust off, of course. I got to get back in the swing of things, and, you know, let's go ahead and throw it off against Forrest Griffin.
Did you see anything in Forrest's match with Anderson that maybe you didn't see before in Forrest having fought him? Because there's also time between the last time you fought and now. So, did you see anything in that fight that you learned different?
I wouldn't say learn different. I see the same weaknesses that he has. You know, he doesn't punch hard. You know, when we fought, he didn't punch hard. He doesn't have much weight on his punches. I come to realize that, you know, and I see where he puts all his weight on his feet, and you know, he's a lot slower than he was before. I mean, a lot slower. I can realize how much slower he got. I was like, wow, which it'll play into my advantage, I hope. You know, Forrest is going to come out how he always does, you know, rough and tough for the first 2.5 minutes, and he'll dwindle after that. And I'm going to try to expose it, you know. I remember the first fight we had, he had got damaged the first round. I mean, as much as I could throw at him for as great a shape as I was at the time, which was horrible shape, and he survived for the next 2 rounds. Or I survived, too, because I was pretty damn tired. But now that I look at it as me giving him 3 rounds like the first one, looks like the referee will be stopping it this time. But, you know, Forrest is tough, man. I respect him as a fighter. I respect him as a person, too. I like the guy, actually. But it's no mercy, man. He's trying to steal my lunch money. I ain't letting it happen. You know, I'm going to come out and make sure that I impose my will as much as possible. And, you know, before he knows, he's going to be on his back, and he's going to be eating punches and elbows, and he'll be wanting another elbow sandwich.
You've been the deli to serve that up in the past, there's no doubt. Even though you won the first fight, do you watch that fight at all and see anything that you would not do again? Something you would change about how you approached it and fought it?
You know, I think I probably wouldn't have took the fight. At the injuries that I had, I wouldn't have let him build his momentum as he did. He's a guy you don't want to let him build momentum. And during the fights, you just want to make sure you just keep the pressure on him and be like a wet blanket on him. You know, hit him with shots and make him pay for the shots that he misses. You know, some of the mistakes that I did make, I corrected him this time around. I'm not gonna let you guys know it because then everybody else will know it.
No,
But
tell us.
yeah, no, during the fight, people will see. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for a really great fight, and like I say, hopefully Forrest is in shape, and hopefully he's ready to get punched in the face again.
Do you approach this any different? Because you're the avenged, the other guy more than anybody. You fought 3 times with Ken Shamrock. You had 2 fights with Chuck Liddell. You're doing a second one now with Forrest. Is there any kind of emotional mindset you get into going into a rematch one way or the other?
Rematches are. I don't think of them as rematches. I think of them as still the first fight. The first fight of all of them. If I think of them as a rematch, I'll look at the mistakes I did before and I'll try to capitalize on not doing them again. That's about the only thing I think of a rematch. I don't know. Let's just see if Forrest wants to fight. Let's see if he wants to take punishment. I'm gonna try to draw blood. I'm gonna try to cut his face up. I'm gonna try to hurt him. Win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna go in there trying to hurt him. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do what I do best, and that's punishment.
Not just punishment, team punishment.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, team
Right, no,
punishment.
Actually, punishment.com. I own the ORL punishment.com now. It took me a little money to buy it, but my brand of punishment, that's what it's about. It's Punishment Athletics, Punishment brand of clothing. Team Punishment's our team, but punishment's always been from '99, and we're continuing on 10 years later.
You've always been exciting to watch. You're one of the guys who people love you, hate you. They got to give you credit for helping build the sport to where it is right now. Do you see other ways too that the sport's growing through other outlets such as mainstream media? You've been on Celebrity Apprentice, you've done Mad TV, you've done a little TNA wrestling. You've been out there more transcending mixed martial arts itself. How does that impact the growth of the sport that's still shaking that negative no holds barred halo?
I think that negative no holds barred halo is almost gone. It's kind of funny because when you're on The Simpsons, the sport's made it. I think there's another television show that a guy, or actually no, it's on Spike. It's Dave. What is it? He's like one of the stunt guys, and he's getting punched in the face by an MMA guy.
Super Dave?
Super Dave. There you go, Super Dave. He's back in our days, man. That's
Yeah.
I remember in the beginning when he first started, but
We're showing our age.
Yeah, right. Oh, wow. But just watching how the sport's growing like that, you see it on just TV shows that they're doing some type of MMA plug or something, and the sport's grown huge. I've been a little bit of contributor to it just because I was there in the dark ages where people didn't really care about it. I mean, UFC would die for this many people to come to a press junket for a fight. But it's just one of those things that you look at, that the sport has grown, and now that I am where I am, I'm going to continue pushing the brand of UFC as much as possible.
How's your relationship with Dana and the UFC now that you're back? I know you're floating around a little bit, talking to everybody from Elite XC to Affliction. Back in the saddle, back where you belong. Everything smooth sailing there.
Everything's awesome, the positive reinforcement I get from Dana, I get from Lorenzo and Zuffa team. Those guys are awesome, man. It was a negotiation tactic on my part. I've never wanted to fight anywhere else. You fight against the best guys in the world, you're fighting in the UFC. You fight anywhere else, you're fighting against second-rate guys. And I never wanted that. I want to give my fans the best fights possible. And the UFC, where it was at, I had to stand my ground. I stood my ground. I won. I raised the bar for all the fighters. They don't know it yet, but I did. I'm very thankful for how giving Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta are right now. I'm very thankful for Dana being the man of his word and doing the things he's been doing. And it's nice to be in that positive reinforcement of Zuffa and the UFC machine, as they say.
It is a machine,
Yeah.
no doubt. So you are not just a fighter. Most people know. You mentioned punishment.com. Punishment.com. You mentioned. People don't realize fighters want to get in a sport that there's a business side of this too, and you're one of the guys who's got the business side of it down as well as the fight side of it down. What would you tell people who wanted to get in the sport besides preparing to be a fighter about approaching that side of it too?
I think fighting comes second. I think number one is get educated. Education's a big opportunity for fighters to get into. Speech classes, things like that. Even in just business management, they understand what contracts are put in front of them, what contracts they need to sign, and just get a great attorney. I have an attorney, Ophir Ventura, out of Las Vegas, who's probably one of the best attorneys I've ever worked with, and me and him, we just sit down and bang it out. I think getting educated is very, very, very important, and that's what I try to spread. I mean, for my son, I mean, he's in the 1st grade, reads at a 3rd grade level. He just got his first report card, and he's in private school, and he got all A's. Damn, where do you get that intelligence? I don't know. Maybe I rubbed off on him a little bit. You know, maybe my ex-wife rubbed off on him a little bit. She does an awesome job with him, though. Now I got 2 more kids on the way, me and Jenna. You know, 2 boys, Jesse and Journey, and I'm just excited, man, to be a father and to really expose MMA to what it is, but be an inspiration, a role model for a lot of kids who are growing up. So, you know, any fighter kids who want to come back and become great fighters, you got to get educated first. You know, get your bachelor's degree. You know, get your master's degree if you want to prove everyone to be a better fighter. But I think that comes first is get educated.
Great advice from a guy who's been a good role model from the beginning in the sport.
Thank you.
Any advice you picked up from being on Celebrity Apprentice, from working with the Don?
Yeah, you know, I guess a lot of it actually. You know, he said, you know, don't ever take any shit from anybody. You know, stay your ground and believe in your dreams and never stop working. You know, because there's days when you're not working and someone's working harder, and I take that to heart, and I've always took that to heart. And you know, I think it helped out a lot for my contract at the UFC now, because I didn't take no shit. I made sure I stood my ground, and it worked out for the best. You know, I raised the bar for all the fighters. So, you know, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful.
And as are we to have you back fighting in the UFC.
Yeah, me too.
Last question, and I'm going to let you go. This is a what would Tito do question, a little hypothetical, just to see where you would go with this. Scenarios, day before Halloween, your costume gets ruined. You go to the costume store, there's only 3 choices left. It's very scarce. Your 3 costume choices are Frank Shamrock, Forrest Griffin, and a Teletubby. What do you do?
The best thing in the world, I'd be a Teletubby. That way, so no one would know who I am. I wouldn't have to take any pictures and do any autographs, and I could have fun on Halloween night. Believe me, I've done costumes before where I put masks on and stuff where no one don't even know who I am at all, and I have the best night because no one bothers me. And that's a great Halloween for me. I missed Halloween this year. I was up here in Big Bear. On Halloween night, I was training. That was what I was doing. I went on a 3-mile run, came back, we did a leg workout, and I hit mitts for 6 5-minute rounds with 30-second rests. So that was my great Halloween. I didn't get to eat no candy. I'm going to have my Halloween after this fight. And after the fight, I think Forrest Griffin would still have his Halloween mask on.
Tito, thanks very much for taking the time. An awesome athlete. Again, man should be respected for everything he's contributed to mixed martial arts. Tito Ortiz fights at UFC 106. And what's the date?
November 21st, live in Mandalay Bay Hotel Casino. If you cannot get there on live, then watch it on pay-per-view.
You've been told.